Hey guys, welcome to another video here on the channel. Flying today, lots of news coming out of today. We have seen the reports of the new CEO coming in, that is Graham Wright. We now have complete confirmation from the football club that Graham Wright will be at the club. And in this video, I'm going to cut the most important bits of the press conference for you and put them into one video, and then we can have something documented as to the first time we heard about Graham Wright and, you know, his new chapter in his career and what it's going to mean for the football club. So the first important item was around the position and how long the club had been searching for a CEO and how exactly Graham Wright came to be the guy that they decided to go. So it's sort of in two parts. Luke Sayers spoke about it first, and then later on he was asked when they opened the floor up for questions, specifically the process of deciding on Graham Wright.
For more than a year, this club has been considering suitable candidates for its chief executive role. A clear priority of the board. And we've been talking to potential candidates over the last 12 months and sort of looking at what the club needs to, you know, capability-wise to go from where we are to kind of what we consider to be a good club today, moving towards a great club. And then, you know, 6-7 weeks ago, I gave Graham a call overseas and started, you know, to look at that option as well. Obviously, you know, from a values and integrity perspective, he plays beautifully to what the club is today under Brian's leadership. He brings, you know, a tremendous amount of experience in football, but he's really curious and wanting to grow himself, you know, other capabilities to move comfortably into that CEO role. So, you know, from a Carlton Football Club perspective, we've got Brian there for another, you know, 12 months or so to the end of 2025. We've got the ability to bring obviously Graham in, put them both together, a lot of learning, a lot of growth, another set of eyes and just perspectives and innovation and IP from his experiences, put it all together, and, you know, hopefully we'll grow again this next 12 months.
The next part here is Brian Cook describing what attracted him to Graham Wright and a little bit of information around the operation role and, you know, when does he start and what exactly he'll be doing over the next 12 months before he becomes the actual CEO.
One thing that really struck me and attracted me to Graham personally was his values. I think, you know, there's 3 or 4 that really stand out for me: respect for people, integrity, humility, and he's a team-driven person and very much in alignment with our values. So I see a natural extension of our values-led organisation. I see that extension being led by Graham when I leave, which is reassuring. There's not much more I can say. In terms of just some operational information, there'll be no direct reports to Graham. He will be the Deputy CEO as part of a strong executive team with learning experiences throughout the year with each one of those members of the executive team and spending time in each department. And he starts on Monday. So, you know, it's pretty good. And we're looking towards his advice on the trading period, which might be a little bit different than what we have at the moment. Who knows?
Next is a curious question that has been reported a bit this year, and that was the alleged tensions between Graham and Craig Kelly at Collingwood. Well, really, this happened last year, but Graham was away for a big part of this year, and everyone has been asking around this tension. So he handled it pretty well.
Were there creative tensions at Collingwood with Craig Kelly, which has been reported widely in regard to that? Was that part of the reason why you wanted to move on from there?
No, there was always a chance. I mean, I actually resigned where they wouldn't accept my resignation, but yeah, there was always a chance that I'd do something else or look to do something else. And as I said, that became clearer for me towards the back end of July, and yeah, obviously had a couple of opportunities after that. So,
how do you reflect on that, the way that ended at Collingwood? I know obviously it's looking backwards, but
yeah, it's been a couple of months for me, so it's a fair while ago. Yeah, I had some great times there. There's some fantastic people there, and I wish everyone at Collingwood well, except when they're playing Carlton. But I hope they do well. And as I said, I've got a lot of friends there, so there was no issue with that.
Next was a really direct question to Luke Sayers around what's a pass mark for Carlton in 2025. And I think this question is always one of interest for fans in particular.
What is the pass mark for next year, Luke?
Oh, look, we're always wanting to win premierships. You know, I'm not going to shy away from that. We start out each year wanting to win games of footy, get into the finals, ideally get into the top four. That's a lot easier there, and then win premierships. So, you know, we're very focused on trying to achieve that next year, but also sustainably setting us up such that, you know, it's not just a boom bust like oftentimes football clubs are. It's a sustainable sort of process, and that's why this next 12 months, in the board's opinion, is awesome.
The next one is back to Brian Cook, and the question was around, you know, why now? Why is he deciding now that this is the end of his time at Carlton?
This obviously happens with your blessing. Why is now the right time for you?
Because at this time, I've been around now as a CEO for 35 years. I turned 70 in a month's time. I've done my bit. I've got to see my grandkids a bit more. And, you know, I'm not going to be lost to football. I'll find some small things to do, no doubt, I hope, if there's someone that knocks on the door down the track. Yeah, so I think it's time. You know, it's time for someone else to take over.
Brian,
Just to be clear on that, not now, in 12 months' time.
Yeah, no, exactly.
This is not a retirement of Brian Cook, let me be clear here. We've got work to do.
Yeah. Look, I know.
Then there was a question to Luke Sayers around the potential of having Graham Wright at the club 10 years ago. So apparently this was something we looked at in 2014.
Well, I think the Carlton Football Club tried to get Graham in about 2014.
14.
So it's been a decade. It's been a decade in the waiting, and obviously you always look from the outside at what other leaders are doing across other clubs, and Graham's got a phenomenal set of base values and competencies and wins on the board at Hawthorn and then obviously at Collingwood in recent years. And when I heard, you know, that potentially Graham was going to be available, I jumped on that, and you know, the board has been blessed with considering kind of a large number of potential candidates. It's fantastic to see so many people actually want to put their hand up to come to Carlton and to take on the role. And I think we're in a really stable position of strength at the moment. But as this season, men's season has highlighted, and the women's season is highlighting at the moment, we're just not good enough. And so we need to get back to work on field and continue the great work off field that we're doing. And so this set of competencies and experiences, in addition to what we've already got, we think we're going to be in a really strong position over the next 12 months and for many years to come.
I also love the comment there, just not good enough. Direct communication, direct line, loved hearing it. I loved hearing his answer to what's the pass mark. I loved hearing that comment right there. It's a little thing. It really is a little thing. But for me, when I hear it, it just makes me feel more connected. And that what I'm feeling is what they're feeling, even though I know that is the case. And the final question was around Dan Houston. It was a cheeky question, but I guess it was an important one to ask nonetheless.
What's a fair trade for Dan Houston, Graham?
I haven't been keeping track of that at this stage. No, I'm not sure, to be honest. I'll catch up with the guys and see where they're at with it, but I'm unsure where they're sitting.
How much of involvement will you have in that space? Obviously, we're still with
No, there's Nick Austin and Brad Lloyd look after that area. As I said, I'll have a chat to them about what they're doing, but I won't get too involved with it.
And so that's that. Look, I think this is a good appointment. I mean, having Brian Cook and Graham Wright working together for the next 12 months, I think is a really strong position to be in. Brian Cook has, you know, they've both got the runs on the board in terms of Brian Cook being a football administrator and Graham Wright being, you know, a football head and a football department leader. And, you know, the natural step for him, he wanted to be a CEO, and this is a good opportunity. There's been some talk around, bringing a Collingwood person in. I mean, I think this is a different situation to Malthouse and Daisy Thomas altogether. Malthouse was at the end of his career. Daisy was also past his best. Graham Wright, this is the first time he's going to be a CEO. This is something he's looking to do. He's got an extensive amount of experience in football. I think our department needed a bit of a beef up. And I think having Graham Wright's mind at the club for the next 12 months, which will then eventuate into him being the CEO, I think it's going to be a great addition to the entire department, even just to explore ideas. And a guy that's got that much experience, having come from Hawthorn successfully, having come from Collingwood successfully, I just think it's a big positive for us. And that's something I was looking at this off-season, something to add to not just the coaching department, but the football department. So I think that's a tick. And, Luke Sayers, mate, got to give it up to him. The man knows how to get appointments done. He gets shit done. And obviously when he sees things that he feels to be right, he goes for it. And look, you can't fault that. He's helped bring Brian Cook to the club. He's now played a really crucial role in bringing Graham Wright to the club. And fair play, that'll go a long way into hopefully bringing this club forward, moving it from good to great. And I know the last few weeks, I like what we've done. Change the high performance manager, done. New CEO, question, what's it going to be? It's done. So these are positive moves. These are proactive moves. And overall, my opinion on what I've seen today is more or less a positive one. But what about you? What did you take away from this press conference and these little grabs? Let's chat about it in the comments.